In the name of Allah, the most beneficent and the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Dear students, how are you all? I hope you all are doing well, enjoying your sound health as well as your studies also. Dear students, I welcome you in Pakistan International School Taif's virtual learning system. Today's lecture of biology is for grade second year. Dear students, in this lecture, we are continuing our chapter number 22, that is about inheritance. And our today's topic is sex linkage in humans. So let's get started. If you just look at the topic, what is sex linkage? So in the previous topic, if you remind that we have studied about the sex determination, what is the role of chromosomes in determining the sex? So here the sex chromosome not only determining the sex, but they are inheriting the genes also for many characters. These genes are located on the sex chromosomes. That's why they are called sex-linked genes, and that inheritance is called sex-linked inheritance. So in humans, that term is usually refers to sex-linked characters like gene located only on X chromosomes. Because on Y chromosomes, there are very less genes which are inheriting. So males can pass X-linked alleles to their daughters, but not the sons, and mother can pass their sex-linked alleles to both sons and daughters. How this all will happen and how sex linkage is happening in human beings, now we are going to see this one. So actually that refers to the phenotypic expression of an allele that depend on the sex of the individual and which is directly tied or linked with sex chromosomes. So most sex genes are present on X chromosomes, so they are called X-linked. If they are present on Y chromosomes, so they are called on Y-linked. But on Y chromosome, uh, because that is very smaller in size, so it does not have so much corresponding alleles. So here you can see Y chromosome and X chromosome. So this is homologous of X chromosome and this is non-homologous of this X chromosome. So mostly these are equal, but this area, which here the genes are different and here the genes are different. So almost 20 genes in humans are sex-linked in that red-green color blindness and hemophilia are very, very important and they are linked or sex-linked recessive traits and they are just passed on as the sex-linked diseases. So one of the example is also rickets. So that is also sex-linked dominant trait and it is like determined by a dominant allele which is present on X chromosome. So it's inheritable pattern if we see here, this is female and this is male genes. So after forming the gamete in F1 generation, this is the offspring. So married with another female. So this is, we can say the next generation. So here we can say R from rickets. So rickets, if that is on the male X chromosome, so that passed on the characters or that rickets to the female only, and female here they are carrier. If you see this one also, because one of the X in any case it will come from the male, so that is the carrier now. But if this carrier will be married with a normal man, so that will be inherited to 25% of female that are we can see that is not actually carrier, because that is sex-linked dominant trait. So they are definitely the condition one, or we can see they are having suffering from rickets. That's why this female also suffering from rickets, and this male is also suffering from rickets. So half of the patients and half are normal. So there are lots of diseases, sex-linked traits, which are transmitted with the sex chromosome: hemophilia, color blindness, which are the recessive one, and hypophosphatemic or vitamin D resistant rickets, which we have seen right now, that is sex-linked dominant trait. And now we can see we will see now sex-linked recessive inheritance. Actually, this inheritance we cannot we cannot do experiment on this. Experimental mating is not possible in humans. So we see the pedigree or the family analysis, family history we can take of those organisms. So X chromosome may contain alleles for the following diseases, characters like hemophilia, color blindness, baldness, Duchenne muscular dystrophy. These are all called as X-linked recessive disorders, which are predominantly affect males, because if female is the carrier, so definitely it will pass its defective X chromosome to the male, because male are having only one X chromosome. So here in X-linked recessive, you can see the genetics of this, like that, where if the mother is carrier for an X-linked recessive condition, here is the mother female, where the mother is carrier. So this red one is present, that is the carrier, and male is the normal. So after forming the gamete in F1 generation, we can see this X come from male and this X come from the female, so that is normal. So means normal X chromosome comes here. So this X comes from the normal male, but this X comes from the abnormal X chromosome, which is having that DNA. So female carrier for the condition, because that is recessive disease. So only one X chromosome, if that gene is present over there, so we can see that female is carrier, not in the condition form, not in the affected form. So here the X comes from the female and this Y comes from the male. So this is the normal. So if this carrier X chromosomes move from the female and this Y from the male, so what will happen? Male has the condition. It means the person will suffer from the disease, whether it is color blindness, whether it is hemophilia or muscle dystrophy. So because all are recessive, so but if they are recessive and female is carrier, so that will transmit the disease to the males. So among if we just see 50% of male and 50% of female, so out of them 25% of female are carrier and 25% of male are the diseased one. Now there is another condition. If father has the X-linked recessive condition, So in that, because that is having, the male is having only one X chromosome and one Y, so that X chromosome will transfer to the male, to the female, not to the male. Male X chromosome come from the mother, one from the mother. So here are the gametes, so that is affected one. So after like F1 generation, so what happened, this carrier, like the affected uh, male will transfer this X chromosome, affected chromosome, to to the daughter, and this one normal come from the female. Like this like move to the, because a male is having just one X chromosome, so this X chromosome will move to the daughter and one normal from the mother. So it means that all the daughters, like 50% of the daughters are carrier. They are not affected, but they are carrier. So now we will see that mother is normal, father is affected, so all the sons are normal. The males in the next generation are normal. They are not carrier, but male cannot be the carrier in recessive condition. They can be affected only. So, but females are the carriers. So this in X-linked recessive trait, like in hemophilia A and B and color blindness and testicular feminization, there are recessive one. So they can, like all the males can be affected and females can be carrier in different conditions. Now you'll see X-linked dominant inheritance. So in that, only few disorders are known to be inherited in an X-linked dominant manner. One of them is called hypophosphatemic rickets. So in hypophosphatemic rickets, actually this is the rickets in which defective intestinal absorption of calcium is there. So vitamin D is resistant over there. It is not absorbed, as well as calcium is not absorbed in the intestine. So that leads to rickets. So less or low phosphate in the blood. So that like in the blood, if the phosphate is less, so from the bone, the like bone, from the bone phosphate is extracting, so bones gets weakened. So here, that is the dominant inheritance. If the condition is a mother has the condition, like mother is um, like carrier in that, mother can be a carrier. If carrier, so it will transmit this X chromosome to one of the female and one of the male here. So male in the like F1 generation, the male will be not the carrier, the male, because one only, it is having only one X chromosome, so the male will be the only defective. Like in male, disease will be highlighted, the person will be affected with that rickets. And if a female, like transferring this defective chromosome into the daughter, so that will be carrier. And there is a normal daughter and normal son also. So 50% of the kids are like having that defective chromosome, 25% daughters which are carriers, and 25% sons which are affected here. So that is the inheritance. This like, sorry, this is we can say this is the X-linked dominant inheritance. So in that dominant condition, what happened, because daughter is also carrying one gene from that one chromosome which is having that defective gene. So it means that is not carrier, that is having the condition. Sorry, I got confused between recessive and dominant sex-linked inheritance. So in dominant, if one chromosome will get that condition, will get the affected genes, affected chromosome, so definitely that one, wherever it go in the male or female, the daughter or son, so those will be the defective one. So in the second condition, where the mother has the X-linked condition, the same one where the mother has the condition means is suffering from hypophosphatemic rickets. So in that, X-linked dominant conditions may lead to severe that males with the condition do not survive, because male does not have any other X chromosome. That is only one, and one is defective. So here son is seen with condition, and here without condition, daughter without condition, they are normal. But here daughter with condition, but it can survive. So hardly those males like got survived, and after a few years. So X-linked dominant inheritance, if the mother is carrier of the mutated gene, so 50% of the sons and daughters will be affected, like we have seen before, and 50% sons and daughters will be normal. So if the father is the carrier of the mutated gene, so 100% daughters will suffer from that disorder, and no son will suffer from that disorder. So they will be normal. So it means like father will transfer to the daughters and mother will transfer to the both daughters and the sons. So in the next, if both the parents are carrier of the muted gene, actually carrier means both are affected. So 100% daughters will be affected, 50% son will have a disorder of that, and 50% sons will be unaffected or normal. Because here the only one X chromosome is required to be defective. Now we'll see violent inheritance. Just very fewer violent inheritance rather than X-linked inheritance are genetic disorders. So surprisingly, not the disorders, but more or traits are just inherited to the next generation, because they are Y chromosome is having less genes over it as compared to X chromosome. So violent inheritance shows a pattern of transmission of mutant of phenotype from father to son, and it is never observed in females. So an example of violent phenotypic trait is hairy ears. You can see this one. So its inheritance, like the father is affected, like it is having because on that smaller Y chromosome, that is anywhere, if a non-homologous like side of that chromosome, if that gene is present, so that will be transferred to only male, because Y transferred to only male, not to the female. So here the male is having the affected one, so it will transfer all these characters to the male, to the male, to the male, because Y comes from the male. So these male belong to this person, and these belongs to this person, which is the son of this person. So here number 1, 2, and 3, like in 3 generations or later on, they just transfer those characters. So non-homologous portion of Y chromosome contains fewer genes. 2 genes appear to be located in this region in Drosophila for male fertility. 17 genes are present in the non-homologous of human Y chromosome. So these genes which are present on Y chromosomes, these are called Holendrick genes. And the best example for Holendrick genes is the excessive hair on the ear in men, and conditions, that condition is called hypertrichosis. hypertrichosis or hypertrichosis. It can also be hypertrichosis. That is a Y-linked character which transfer from male to male. It never goes to the female. So would be transmitted directly from father to son and never appeared in the female. So it's some examples are like histocompatibility gene, like that is called HY gene because that is present on the short arm of a human Y chromosome. So in that it gives immunological response in organ transplantation that is specific for male. SRY gene, that is sex determining region Y genes, as we know, we have studied it before, that is transferred from male to male because that is just present on the short arm of the Y chromosome, and like that helps to form the androgens and like testes in the males. The hair on pinna that we have seen that hypertrichosis in the male has been also interpreted due to Hollandrick gene. Also, there is um, some more genes are discovered which are present on Y chromosome, that is testis determining factor, that is TDF, or webbing of toes, like in the feet, toe number 2 and 3, they are joined together. That is also passed if male is suffering from that, so it will transfer to his son. And also porcupine hair, it means a straight hair on the body. So next, our next topic is sex-linked disorders. Inshallah, we will see this topic in the next lecture. Wish you all the best. I hope you found this lecture very interesting and informative. Allah Hafiz.